starting Daf Gimel. So yesterday we're trying to figure if Nisan is the time of the Melachim, and we made a hekesh between counting the years from Yetziat Mitzrayim, which we do in Nisan, to counting the years of the king of Shlomo HaMelech. The Gemara says, how do you know Yetziat Mitzrayim? You count from Nisan. So the Gemara says, well, it says in the 40th year in Av, Aharon died. In the 40th year in Shvat, Moshe started Mishneh Torah. If Tishri was the year marker, it should be year 41 between Av and Tishri, and between Av and Shvat, Tishri comes. So you should have clicked into year 41. Gemara says, and who says Aharon died before Mishneh Torah? Maybe it's the opposite. Moshe started Mishneh Torah in Shvat. Aharon died in Av. Who says? So the Gemara says, can't be. So on the bottom of Bet Amud Bet, Lo Sal Kadaita, Dichtiv, Achare Hakoto Et Zichon, after they killed Zichon. V'chinach nafshe de Aharon, when Aharon died, Akati have Zichon Kayam, Zichon was still there. Dichtiv, like it says, Vayishma Kenaani, Melech Arad, the Kenaani Melech Arad heard. Ma Shemua Shama, what did he hear? Shama Shemet Aharon, he heard that Aharon died. V'nistaleku Ananei HaKavod, and then Ananei HaKavod went away. V'kasavur, and he thought Nitna Reshu Lilachem b'Yisrael. So what did okay? So what does that have to do with us? Rashi. I know we're not ready for that yet, right? So but we're saying, what did the Kenaani hear? He heard that the Ananei HaKavod left. If the Ananei HaKavod left, it must be Hashem is taking away his protection. So come and get him, boys. Right? V'hainu dichtiv vayir'u kol ha'eda ki gava Aharon. It says everybody saw that Aharon died. Ve'amar Rabbi Abu al tikri vayir'u ela vayira'u, they were seen kederesh Lakish. How could you explain it like that? Vayir'u b'nei Yisrael. The Jewish people were seen. Ki gava Aharon, that Aharon died. So doesn't even read, right?
No, as a result of dying, it's not Aharon.
It's the meaning of ki, right? Vayiru kol ha'eda ki gava Aharon was everybody saw that Aharon died, right? Ki was translated as that. If ki is translated as that, if you want to read it, vayiru, they were seen. The people were seen that Aharon died. Doesn't flow. So you have to say.
I thought someone's back to me, like, look around.
Kederesh, like, no, the window's open. Kederesh Lakish. Yes. Kederesh Lakish. Like Resh Lakish. The Amar Resh Lakish. Ki Mishamesh Bedalad Leshonot. Ki could be used in 4 terms. I, Dilma, Ela, Deha. So one of them, Deha, is because. Vayiru kol ha'eda, the people were seen ki gava Aharon, because Aharon died. Rashi, Kederesh Lakish. Ki gava netinat ta'amhu. It's the reason ledavar shelefanav for what was said before. Nitgalu ha'eda, the people were seen. Lefi shegava Aharon. Lefi, because Aharon died.
Why is it such a funny lashon gava?
Vayigva, Vayasif El Amav. It's used. Giviyah is said by tzaddikim, right? That's we had it last week. It says by the Mabul also it says Vayigva, right? It's not as funny. You just didn't notice it. So we say ki v'dalad l'shonot mishamesh. Shelashon ki, the term ki, v'dalad l'shonot mishamesh b'mikra. It has 4 meanings in the pasuk. It's like in a dictionary, right? You have multiple definitions of a word. So ki has 4 definitions.
Because
Ba,
is that because
let's see. Ba bimkom im, if. right? Pa'amim ba b'mkom im, pe'amim ba b'mkom dilma, maybe. Shema, pe'amim ba b'mkom deha, because shenoten tam ledavar. Pa'amim ba b'mkom ela, only. Ve'soter et dibur shelefanav. It's contradicting what we said before, and it's saying something new. Like in the Gemara, you have an ela, it's like an ela. So he's going to give an example. Ki yihi elahem davar ba elai. Right? If they have a case, they come to me. It's not because they have a case. If they have a case, they come to me. Ki tifga shor oyevcha. If you will, right? Ki yikare kan sipor. If. Kulan lashom imhem. Vechen ki tavo'u. Ki telchun. Ki techale. Ki tisa. V'chol ha-mishameshim b'makom ka'asher. U'b'mkom asher. Right? Even when they're when, it's really if. Shematzinu bekama mekomot im, if mishamesh belashon ka'asher, being used as when, right? Like im kesef talve et ami. Over there it's when, right? So he's telling you, even though sometimes ki is asher. So why doesn't Reish Lakish say that there's 5? He says because im itself could be asher. When? Ka'asher. Something like that. Kemo ka'asher v'lashon kemo ve'im yihiyeh hayovel. I mean, if it will be yovel, if it's going to be yovel. Yovel is year 50. So when it will be the yovel. So you see that if becomes when. Shareh bevadai yeh ve'im takriv minchat bikurim. Hashem told you to bring it. If you decide to.
No.
How do we get the im?
Im, that's the first one. Im. Right? Ki is im. But Rashi is telling you that im is including 2. It's including im and it's including ka'asher. Harezev ka'asher takriv. Shareh chovahu. V'chen im kesef talveh. Im yivla'enu min mekomo. Hamedaber b'shalvat hareshaim. That's okay. Now, Dilma. Kegon, ki tomar b'lvavecha. Doesn't mean when. It means if. Nobody's telling you should say. Right? Shema tomar rabim hagoyim ha'ele. Lo tomar ken, don't say that. Lo tira mehem, don't be afraid. Ki tomru man nirdoflo. Vechi to, if you'll say. Vechi tomru, and if you'll say man ochal b'shana shebi'it. It's not when you'll say, it's if you'll say. Ki tere hamor sona'acha v'hadalta.
That's when, no?
I think it's still when. If I think it's still
Maybe you'll see.
Why?
That's the perhaps. That's
When?
Perhaps you'll see. He's not saying that. Rashi's putting it in the maybe.
not in the if.
I don't know. V'hadalta.
You automatically
Okay.
get friends, donkey.
Who said automatic?
V'harbe ka'elu Moshe shelashon shem mahim. Maybe you should get the other Gemara.
Maybe I
Lo tzahakti.
Rabbi, I think he went to check. He was sold out.
Lo tzahakti.
have the rabbi.
Ki yare'ah. Sarah said, I didn't laugh because she was afraid. Right? Hare ze lashon deha. Lefi shiyare'ah, because she was afraid. Vayomer lo ki tzahak. And he told her, no, but you laughed.
You did.
Hare ze lashon ella. That's ella. But, not what you said. What you said is not true. But what's true is this.
What is that, Rabbi?
What?
Rather.
Oh,
No, ella. Rather. Ella.
We have a pasuk that says ella ki.
I don't know. We can figure it out. Ella. Lashon ella. Ki gava aharon. Now, when we get to ki gava aharon, Keshata kore vayireu, and they were seen. Hare ze lashon deha. It's because. Hodu la Hashem ki tov. Shehare tov. Because he's good. לא תקבוץ את ידיך, כי פתוח תפתח, אלא פתוח תפתח.
Not because.
Why do you stick in Hodu Lashem ki tov there? I don't know. Okay, back in the Gemara.
You think it's tov lehodot, no?
Hodu Lashem.
Ki Hashem tov. It's telling you, right? Like because Hashem is tov.
Saying you should have put it where key is yeah.
Hodu Hashem, why? Ki tov, not because Hodu ki tov lehodot Hashem.
Vayiru kol ha'edah. ויראו כל כי גברון ואמר בי אבו אלתי ואל ויראו כדרש לקיש אמר יש לקיש כי משמש בדלת לשונות אי דילמה אלא דהה. Says the Gemara, what does that prove? מי דמי הטעם כנען. It says וישמע כנעני מלך ערד. That's כנען. הכה סיחון. This is סיחון. תנא הוא סיחון הוא ערד הוא כנען. All the same. Sichon, why they call him Sichon? Shedome lesayach bamidbar. He's like Rashi says, Sayach ayar ben sus. It's a mule born of a horse. Right?
What is the shayach? What does that mean? What is the adjective?
It's a strong animal.
Oh, strength. Okay.
Kenaan al shem malchuto. Kenaan, that's the title. No. Kenan, Baishma, Kenani, it's like his title, like Paro. It's not saying Kenaan, HaKenani is going on the people, because he's saying who Sichon, who Arad, who Kenaan.
So they started calling Canaan because of him?
It doesn't work.
There's no problem. Why? Because you think Arad is in this Negev?
I think Sichon is on one side and then Canaan's on the other.
It's all Canaan. His name was Canaan.
So the name of the country was after him.
His title was Canaan, like Paro. He wasn't in Canaan. It's like the king of Africa who calls himself America. Good morning, Mr.
Good morning.
Alechem shalom. Good morning.
Thank you.
Uma Shemo, Arad Shemo. His name, his personal name was Arad.
Like Jerusalem, Texas.
Jerusalem, Texas, right? So no, that's a place. The guy's name is America. Now they have people that name is Brooklyn. People's name is Brooklyn.
Amarik Asher.
Huh? That's why he's named Amarik.
Amarik Asher.
On America. Okay. There you have it.
Amarik Asher. One of the Asher brothers.
שדומה לסייע. סייע במבקנה שמוכדו, מה שמו ערד שמו. His name was Arad. Ika de Amri. No, he had one name, a title, and a nickname.
So why every time we refer
He was
him-
definitely S1.
But every reference to him in the Torah is Sichon. Why?
No, that's only the ones that you know because you didn't know about
the
the.
Sefer Torah.
One second.
Bereshit.
One
It's
second.
Sichon.
You have a SY guy. They call him some ridiculous nickname, right?
Okay.
No, what? Storefront, right? Not right. Now, Eli, we have Eli. Hey, what's your nickname? Stu. Stu. Right, the Stu is not so ridiculous. Right. Storefront is a ridiculous nickname, right? So if they're talking storefront, you didn't know that it could be your brother, right? They're calling him storefront your whole life. You thought they were talking about a store.
His brother's showcase.
No, it's storefront's brother. His showcase. It's like who's on first, what's on second, right? So now, right? So you can have a whole conversation. The whole Torah is full of Kina'an, and you thought it was talking about Kina'an. It's really talking about Sichon. Or in certain places, it's talking about Sichon. You have to be part of the club to know what we're
No, I
talking
understand
about.
what you're saying, but you're saying if you're saying that Arad is his real name,
Yeah,
so why the first time we ever meet him in the Torah in Bereshit it says Sichon?
because they called him by his title. What was Paro's personal name?
I don't know.
All right, but he had a personal name, but we never heard it. So
So-
how come we never said his personal name? Because we never did.
So Og's name is not Og if they're brothers.
I didn't say Og's
Asking
name.
you. Asking
I don't
your
know.
brothers.
I'm not responsible for all of this.
As
well, Uma Shemo Arad Shemo. Ika de Amri, others say. Arad, he was called Arad Shedome le'arod bamidbar. Arod, Rashi says, is Chamor Haber, is a wild donkey. Kenaan al Shem Malchuto. Uma Shemo, Sichon Shemo, his name was Sichon. Says the Gemara, the Ema Rosh Hashana Iyar. Maybe Rosh Hashana. Okay, so his name is Sichon. Now, the problem with this whole business over here. No, so it's coming out. It's bring information. The problem is, so we see that after Aharon died, Arod Kenaani Sihon came to attack the Jewish people. So you can't say that Acharei Hakoto et Sichon and then Aharon died, because Sichon was still alive when Aharon died. Now the problem with this on the surface is that Milchemet Sichon that they're quoting over here as Milchemet Sichon Leishma Kenani is not when they fought with Sichon and conquered. That comes later. So it seems like it's two separate battles. You'd have to say that Sichon came and attacked once. Yeah. Open up in Parashat Chukat. Parashat Chukat. On page 848. Right. Perek Chaf Aleph. Vayishma, he just wants to show he doesn't need that sutta. Vayishma HaKenaani Melech Arad Yoshev HaNegev. Now, Yoshev HaNegev is a bigger problem. Sounds like they lived in Israel. Sichon is in Ever HaYarden. Kiba Yisrael Derech HaAtarim. Vayilachem BeYisrael Vayesh Mimenu Shevi. Vayidar Yisrael Neder Ladonai Vayomar. Em naton titen et ha'am hazi biyadi, ha'am hazi haramti et arehem, vayishma Adonai bekoi, vayiten et Kenaani, vayaharem etem ve'et arehem, vayikra Shem ha'makom Horma. Now, if they went into Eretz Yisrael and they fought with them in Israel, it would seem like they already conquered part of Israel. There's a whole lot of issues here, but sounds like they lived in the Negev. Sichon, this is a question. Sichon didn't live in the Negev. Sichon lived in Ever HaYarden.
The Negev was part of the Gvul at the time.
The Negev is the south of Israel.
I know what it is. I'm saying it's part of the Gvul of Israel at the time when they're conquering.
Yeah.
It was? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
It was further south of the.
Now, where's Sichon? Right? Sichon is later. Is on page 852. Vayishlach Yisrael malachim el Sichon melech ha'emori lemor. E'ebera be'artzecha. Right? And there's a whole story over here. It's Amalek. Yeah. Yeah.
He doesn't say it over here.
Tosfot says.
He doesn't bring it over here.
Tosfot says, Vayishma Kenaani melech Arad, b'midrash amrinan, dahainu Amalek, kemo sheyasad hapayat, bepizmon shel parashat Zachor, kesut velashon shina, heyot kemelech Arad. Right? Rashi says it's Amalek, Rashi and Chumash. Why'd they call them Kenaani? Because he changed his name, so when they fight, the Jews will pray, give me Kenaan. Right? Right? Give me the Kenaani. And it's not the Kenaani. So the tefillah will, it's like trying to duck under the radar. The Jewish secret weapon is prayer. Will foil the prayer. Will come in looking like Kenan with disguise. They're going to pray to get rid of the Kenaani. So the Jewish people smelled the rat. So they said, "Im naton titen et ha'am hazeh," whoever the heck these people are, put them in their hands. Aval mikol makom dayik shapir, right? The have Sichon kayam. Even so, we're learning Sichon is alive. Why? Mi deshina Amalek atzmo lavo kedmuto. So he says, even if it's really Amalek, it's not a stira. Why? Because Sichon is Kenaan, Melech, Arad, Yoshev HaNegev. That's Sichon's name. Sichon's name, we said, his title is Kenaani. His personal name is Arad, right? And his nickname was Sichon because he was like a mule, right? You're gonna dress up like a guy that's dead? Not gonna do that. So that if they dressed up like Sichon, he must have still been alive. Right? Mi deshina Amalek atzmo. What are we saying? Vishma Kenaani is Amalek. It's not that Amalek. It's not that Amalek is called Kenani. Amalek is Amalek. So why are they calling them Kenani? Because he changed his clothes. He came in disguise. You're going to disguise yourself like dead people? It's not a very effective tactic. So you see that Sichon is still alive, even though Kenani is really Amalek, like Rashi says. But from the fact that they dressed up like Sichon, how do I know they dressed up like Sichon? Because they called them Kenani. What's it called? They dressed like those Kenani who's Sichon.
Why does it matter who's that it's Sichon? Isn't it the fact that they're just changing not to look like Amalek? They look like anybody.
I understand, but they.
Yeah,
1 second. You want to dress up like somebody. You want to dress up like somebody or like anybody. So they said we want to dress up like somebody so that they'll say, "Pray, give us those people. Give us the Kena'ani." If you just put on different clothes, right?
No, but I could put on the army clothes of Canaan. But I think I'm Canaan doesn't mean I'm Sichon Mamash.
But they mentioned the name, so they dressed up like Sichon's army.
Right, his army.
Very good. So it means
just the disguise.
Means they're assuming if they're calling us Sichon's people, means he's alive. So Tosfot is answering Mike. Now that answers my question. The fact that here they fought with Sichon and they fought with Sichon again is not a problem because it wasn't really Sichon. It was people masquerading as Sichon, right? So that's why after they fought him, they still had to fight the real Sichon. Okay.
We're trying to put them on the map on the timeline.
But now we know that when Aharon died and the clouds of glory went away, Sichon was still alive because these fellows masqueraded like Sichon and his people. Okay, says the Gemara, Ve'ema Rosh Hashana Iyar. So now, again, we have Aharon dying in Av, year 40. We have Moshe starting Mishneh Torah in Shvat, year 40. Right? We said, Kadosh Chodesh be Tishri. Tishri is the number one candidate. That's Rosh Hashanah. No, can't be Tishri. Why? Because then the year would have changed. Fine. The Ema Rosh Hashanah Iyar. Maybe Rosh Hashanah from Yetziat Mitzrayim is Iyar. Why not? Who says it's Nisan?
Well, we just proved that it's not Tishri.
It's not Tishri. But who says it's Nisan? Because it's not Tishri. It has to be Nisan. Wow. That just means that you count the months from there.
So doesn't say when
doesn't mean the years.
From not the first one.
Yes, we do that.
You're gonna count from the third.
We do that.
Because
when is the year changed? Rosh Hashanah is Rosh Hashanah. But you're calling it the Chodesh Harishon, and it's this, and Rosh Hashanah is in the 7th month.
Chodeshim. To human, it's Rosh Hashanah because
Chodesh Harishon is a name. It's like in Cuba, right? Everything is dated from the date of Fidel Castro's takeover. It's the month of the revolution and the year, the 40th year from the revolution, everything about the revolution, right? And the revolution started everything. But now you say we count the months from Yetziat Mitzrayim. Doesn't mean that's the beginning of the year.
Even the Pasuk said.
Pasuk didn't say that.
Didn't say at the beginning of the year.
Rosh Chodashim. Count the years, count the months from here. Okay, so he says, so maybe it's Iyar because Iyar is before Tamu, before Av, so it's not going to interfere. You can have it will be year 40 in Av, it will be year 40 in Shvat, no problem. But I'm still doesn't mean I have to count in Nisan. Ve'ema Iyar says the Gemara. Ve'ema Rosh Hashanah Iyar lo sal kadaita. Dichtiv vahi b'chodesh harishon b'shana hashenit be'echad lachodesh ukama mishkan. When they put up the Mishkan, second year, first day, first month, right? Rosh Chodesh Nisan. V'chtiv, vahi b'shana hasheni, in the second year. B'chodesh hasheni, in the second month. Na'ala he'anan me'al mishkan ha'edut. The clouds went up from the Mishkan. Now, if the second month, if Iyar is the beginning of the year, that would mean that story happened before the putting up, before the story that happened in month 1 in the second year, right? Because month 1 of the second year is actually the 12th month of the year. It's just called month 1, right? In Nisan, if Iyar is Rosh Hashanah from Yetziat Mitzrayim, Nisan is the last year, right? Last month of the year. So that means that the Mishkan was put up after. But how could the Anan go up from the Mishkan if they didn't put it on yet? So it must be Nisan is the first month, or is Nisan is before Iyar? I don't know, first month, but Nisan is before Iyar. It's in the same. It's in the same year. Says the Gemara, Mi dekai b'Nisan, dekari la shana sheni. V'kai be'iyar, v'kari la shana shniya. Mechlal de Rosh Hashana lav iyar. Ve'ema Rosh Hashana Sivan. Maybe it's Sivan. Okay, you're right. It's not iyar. Maybe it's Sivan. Right? Lo salka daitach. B'chtiv b'chodesh hashilishi, in the third month. Letzeh b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim. V'im ita, if you could. So that's when the Matan Torah, right? Yitro. V'im ita, but if the trigger is Rosh Chodesh Sivan, b'chodesh hashilishi b'shana hasheni letzeh b'nei Yisrael, it should be called the third month, but in the second year, and doesn't say that. Okay, so it's not Sivan. Ve'ema Tammuz, ve'ema Av. Maybe Rosh Chodesh Av is the beginning. Rashi, ve'ema Adar. So look in Rashi. Ve'ema Av, ve'ema Adar. They call Chodashim sheben Av l'Shvat. All the months between Av and Shvat. Pakah lan le'el. We got rid of it. Midikai be'Av v'kari la shnat arba'im. Since Av and Shvat are in the same year, so the Rosh Hashanah can't be anywhere between Av and Shvat. But you have Adar, Nisan, Iyar, Sivan, Tammuz, and Av, right? So Nisan is what we believe. That we're trying to prove that. One second. Cheshvan is between Av and Shvat. Right? Adar it could be. Iyar and Sivan we just proved now, but it could be Tammuz and Av too. So we have three other possibilities. Ela Amar Rabbi Lazar. Rabbi Lazar says Mehacha from here. Vayachel livnot. He started to build the Beit Hamikdash b'chodesh hasheni b'sheni b'shnat arba lemalchuto. What is that second sheni? My sheni. What is the sheni? Lav sheni liyerach. My sheni liyerach shemonim bo lemalchuto.
His second year,
right? It's the second month, right? The second month, b'chodesh hasheni, b'sheni, telling you that that's the second month that of the month that they count for kings, which is Nisan. So the second month is the second month of the king change year, the king change month. It's coming to tell you that Chodesh Iyar is the second month after the month that we use to change the years of the kings.
Meaning Nisan is first.
Nisan is the month of the king. It's Befirush telling you this chidush.
It's very hard to.
The word Sheni is coming for a dirasha. Says the Gemara, Matkif la Ravina, who said, Ve'ema Sheni b'chodesh. Maybe it's telling you he started to build on the second of the month.
Day? Second day?
The second day of Iyar.
When do we use days? We're using the month now. We're not using the
We
days.
had it before, right? We had it before. It says, "Vayi b'shana hashenit." B'chodesh hasheni. It says, if you look in the Bach, be'esrim b'chodesh. Right? So he says, "Im ken sheni b'chodesh behed ya'av ektiv be'ed." Should have said b'sheni b'chodesh, like it said in that pasuk, be'esrim b'chodesh.
maybe Yom Sheni.
Okay. Ve'ema b'sheni b'shabbat. Maybe it was Monday. Sheni b'shabbat. Says the Gemara, Hada de lo ashkachan sheni b'shabbat tichtiv. You never find in the Torah that it says b'sheni b'shabbat. Ve'od maki sheni batra l'sheni kama. It's a hekesh, the second sheni to the first sheni. Ma sheni kama chodesh b'chodesh hasheni. Av sheni batra chodesh. Second sheni is also a month. It's not a day. Now, Tosfot asks
That's
a
by default.
bomb question.
That's by default. Must be.
It's a hekesh. Before Tosfot, Rashi. My sheni the hadar katav pa'am acheret b'kra b'sheni. What's the second sheni? From here we learned the sheni liyerach she'monim bo l'melachim. It's the second month from the month that they start counting the years of the kings. If it would be sheni b'chodesh behed yahav ektiv bekedechtiv bekana mekomot be'echad lachodesh v'chtiv b'shana hashelishi be'asor lachodesh sheni b'shabbat lo ashkachan dechtiv bekra, meaning the hadar bekra b'sheni, that the Torah should write b'sheni on a Monday. We never find the Torah telling you what day of the week anything happened. Tosafot says sheni
The first
b'shabbat.
Sheni teaches me that Nisan is the first. The first Sheni.
No, the first Sheni is just telling you that we're talking about Iyar.
No, that's Nisan is first. Why do I
Because
need another
the
Sheni?
Torah says that. But we know that in the whole Torah that Nisan is the first month.
Okay, so
What
now,
we
why do I need
don't
two
know,
Shenis?
what we don't know, right? That's true. But what we don't know is that it's the Sheni for kings also. We don't know that Nisan is the Rosh Hashana for kings. We know it's the first month. We don't know it's the first month for kings.
What would I think is the first month for King?
Any other month in the year. Why not?
What is it the first month for then?
Now, why do we need a separate starting?
That was what we said yesterday. We said yesterday because of the so that they have a set day that they change the year so that people don't get mixed up and write the wrong date.
To keep the same style of Tishrei. We didn't answer.
That's
that.
okay. We need eight. If we
You
need
need
a day,
and the big
I
Nisan.
need a day.
So keep everything consistent. The starting
The-
point is
one
always
second.
January 1.
One
Always
second. The
Tishrei
original
1.
idea was that it's going to be the day that the king became king, right? When should his second year begin? On his birthday, on his king day. That can't be too confusing. Now we need a day. We chose Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and we're learning it from Pesukim.
And what can it not be?
The Torah
But
told
the
us to do it in
Nisan.
Nisan. We had a Hekesh. Now,
What's this over the
but now, Tosafot says, what do you mean it never says Sheni? V'hadichti v'hi boker yom Sheni. It was too easy, Moshe.
What do you want to say?
Not, you told me the Torah never says Monday here, Yom Sheni.
Never give you a date on something to be Yom Sheni. Not when
Exactly.
he created the Olam that it's Yom Sheni. It's hard.
You missed, you struck out, Moshe.
No, I didn't.
You struck out.
I wouldn't ask that question.
Says the Gemara. Well, the Tosfot did, so why do I care that you
Because
wouldn't?
there's no other way to describe the first day what was born. the
I'm
first
telling you,
second
you're
day.
striking out. You're missing. It's like
No,
you're
but
trying.
the Gemara is asking.
You're trying to
we
hit a
never
home
said
run
the
and you're
second
missing
day.
the ball so
No, 'cause
hard.
you know what? Moshe's saying
Ready?
second day needs two. Here is saying it's
It's
Monday.
missing. Rashi en lemedim says Tosfot mefaresh b'Yerushalmi. Not only is it Tosfot to Yerushalmi, en lemedim mibriyato shel olam. You can't learn from creation. Why? The lava Shabbat kai.
That was before.
Ela
Shabbat.
shehaya yom sheni lebriyato shel olam.
Wow.
We said it never says sheni b'Shabbat, but sheni from briyato shel olam. It's the second day in the world. Different.
It's a count. It's
That's
not
It's the same thing.
So that may not necessarily be Monday.
So loser. Let's go. That's Gemara.
So what's saying that before Shabbat may not have been a 24-hour day?
should be quiet because they'll think it
What
was
is that?
Gemara. They'll think all the other good questions.
It is the Gemara.
Rabbi, so could be hinting that before that the first week of creation may not have been a 24-hour day.
No, he's not saying that. I don't know where you see that. Okay. Says the Gemara. Tanya Kavate, Tanya Kavate Rabbi Yohanan. We have a brighter like Rabbi Yohanan. Minayin, how do we know? She'en monim lahem lemelachim. How do we know that we change the years of the king? Ela minisan. Shene'emar vahi b'shmonim shana ve'arba me'ot shana letzet b'nei Yisrael me'eretz Mitzrayim. Right? And in that pasuk, it also says, Bishnat Arba from King Shlomo. So we compare the kings to Yetziat Mitzrayim, just like Yetziat Mitzrayim is in Nisan, so to the kings in Nisan. Uchtiv vayal Aharon haKohen el hor harapi Hashem. Uchtiv vayiba'im shana v'ashtei asar chodesh. That's how we know that it's not Tishri. V'chtiv acharei hakoto etzichon, and that's how we know that Aharon dying was before Moshe starting Mishneh Torah. Ve'omer vayishma Kenaani. That's the same proof. Ve'omer vayiru kol ha'ida ki gavaron. All part of the same thing. Ve'omer vahi b'chodesh harishon b'shana hashenit. Ve'omer vahi b'shana hasheni b'chodesh hasheni. That proves that it's not Iyar. Ve'omer b'chodesh hashelishi letzeh penei Yisrael. That proves that it's not Sivan. Ve'omer vayachel livnot b'sheni. And that proves that it's the second month. So now, in the fact, he quoted all Rabbi Yochanan's proofs, and then he quoted Rabbi Elazar. L'chaora Rabbi Elazar is a standalone thing. He says, "B'sheni b'chodesh hasheni l'minyan shem malachim monim bo." That it's the same thing. So look in Tosfot. Tanya kavated Rabbi Yochanan. Lav lafuked Rabbi Elazar. It's not going against Rabbi Elazar. The ha mighty nami Rabbi Elazar. We quoted Rabbi Elazar's pasuk also in that paraita. So if you have Rabbi Elazar, he says Ella. Sounds like he doesn't need Rabbi Yochanan. It's not enough. The Hava Amina, the Shlomo Vadai Have Sheni Liyerach Shemonim Bo LeMalchuto Lefi she'amad b'Nisan. You know why Shlomo counted from Nisan? Because he became king in Nisan. Aval l'shar melachim lo. Other kings no. L'kach lahachi tzarich nami demakish li'yitzias Mitzrayim. We compare it to Yitzias Mitzrayim. The reason why we're counting is not because Shlomo became king, but because it's like Yitzias Mitzrayim.
What? So before
So
Shlomo,
he happened to start in Nisan. Shlomo.
Why not? Now the question is, what do you mean?
But didn't Shavuot, he died on Shavuot?
He was coronated before.
So but 11 months he didn't take over? Oh, what do you mean? So
We just said it doesn't work like
he's
that.
retired. He was sitting
We just said it
retired,
doesn't
not
work
being
like that. We said if they decided on the king's Adar,
That's if they didn't coronate him. David HaMelech appointed him king when he was alive.
They did that.
Okay.
They did that.
Right.
That's what we had before. They did it.
Well, I don't know when. How do you know when they appointed Shlomo king?
They have to make shit with the
So when?
shaman, no?
They did it.
They said
don't
6
know when it
months,
was,
8 months
Nisan.
without a king, Rabbi.
Huh?
They had king 8 months without a king, 9
The
months.
opposite.
No, they had a king.
He was
David
alive.
was
David did it
retired.
when he was alive.
Retired.
He retired. He stayed in the
It
house.
says in the pasuk. In the pasuk. That David appointed him king when he was alive.
He appointed him, but he didn't take over yet.
I understand, but because he
So
was
Yoshua
coronated
was-
in his
Yoshua
son, so
took
therefore.
Yeshua was appointed
Yeah, but
before.
we
he
said-
died.
we said yesterday.
Adrabah, coronation is the start.
But time out, so now
Oh,
David-
he was appointed.
One sec. We said the coronation.
He was
is not
appointed king. He was appointed king.
Yeah, but being appointed is not.
They swear him in.
None that doesn't have to be. They have a coronation party, but over here they appointed him king. He was made king.
November 5th.
They said Yehi HaMelech Shlomo. They said it. Okay. Anyway, says the Gemara, Amar Rav Chisda lo shanu ela l'malchei Yisrael. We're only talking about Jewish kings. Aval malchei umot olam, non-Jewish kings. Tishri manina. We start them from Tishri.
What's the Ibnu Aliyah Me'adar?
Why should we keep everything?
Not now.
That's it.
We're running a sense. Tishri manina. We count it from Tishri. I'm going to buy you the Gemara. Tishri.
The truth is, I need it now.
Tishri manina. שנאמר, דברי נחמיה בן חכליה, sorry. ויהי בחודש כסלו, שנת 20 למלך, שנת 20, in the 20th year. וכתיב, right, בחודש כסלו, וכתיב בחודש ניסן, שנת 20 לארתחשסתא, the 20th year of Artachshasta. So if it's in the 20th year, and the 20th year, you went from Kislev to Nisan in the 20th year, how come it didn't become year 21? Ela, it's in Tishri. Midikai bekislev. Vekari leshnat esrim. Vekai benisan. Vekari leshnat esrim. Mechlal, the Rosh Hashana, love Nisan. Must be it's not Nisan.
It can't be that it's following his live.
So Gemara, everything could be. Says the Gemara, Bishla Mahach, the first one. The second pasuk, sorry, Mefarish de la Artachshasta. It says who the king was. Ishnat Isrim la Artachshasta. That's in Nisan. Elahai, the first one, Mimai de la Artachshasta. Who says it's the 20th year of Artachshasta? Dilma Leminyana Acharina. Maybe it was some other count. Says Gemara, Amara Papa, Shnat Isrim legezera shava. Same year, same thing, fine. Mahatam la'artachshasta, afhacha la'artachshasta. Umimai dema'aseh de Kislev kadim. Who says the first story when it says in Kislev is before the story in Nisan? Maybe the story in Nisan is before the story in Tishri. Dilma ma'aseh de Nisan kadim. Los al kadaita de Tanya. Right? In the pasuk it says, Vayhi Divrei Nehemiah, Vayhi bechodesh Kislev shnat 20 b'ani etzam. So what's the next pasuk? It says his cousin Hanani came to him. Let's read the story. Right? The Tanya we learned. Devarim shamar Hanani la Nehemiah bekislev. What Hanani told Nehemiah and Kislev, Amaran Nehemiah lemelech benisan. Nehemiah told the king in Nisan. We're going to see. He's going to explain everything now. Devarim she'amar Hanani leNehemiah bekislev shene'emar. Devrei Nehemiah ben Chachliah. Vayhi bechodesh kislev shnat 20. Va'ani hayiti b'Shushan Abira. Vayavo Hanani echad me'achai, one of my brothers. Who va'anashim, him and men miYehuda. Va'yeshalem ala Yehudim. I asked him about the Jews. Hapeleta asher nisharu, the remnant that's left min hashevi from the captivity. Val Yerushalayim, what's doing? They got permission to build. How's it going? Vayomer li hanisharim asher nisharu min hashevi sham b'medina bera'a gedola. They're terrible. Ubeherpa, and they're in shame. V'chomat Yerushalayim meforat, the walls are breached. U'she'areha, and the gates nitzitu ba'esh. This is not doing well. Amaran Nehemiah lamelech b'Nisan. Nehemiah told the king in Nisan, Shene'emar, vahi bechodesh Nisan. Shenat esrim le'artachshasta hamelech yain lefanav. Right? Time to put wine by the king. Va'esa et hayain. I picked up the wine. Va'etena le'amelech. I gave it to the king. V'lo hayiti ra' lefanav. I didn't have a problem with the king before that. Vayomer li hamelech. The king told me, Madua panecha ra'in. Why do you look upset? Ve'ata encha choleh. You're not sick. En ze ki imro alev. There must be something wrong with your heart. Va'ira harbe me'od. I was afraid. The king is accusing me of not being happy. I didn't know what to do. Va'omar lamelech. Hamelech le'olam yechiyeh. The king should live forever. I'm not upset at the king. Madua lo yira'u fanai. Why should my face not look bad? Asher ha'ir, the city. Bet kivrot avotai, where my ancestors are buried, hareva is destroyed. Ush'areha, and the gates, ukilu ba'esh. Vayomer li hamelech, the king told me, al ma ze ata mevakesh. So what do you want? Va'etpalel el Elohei hashamayim. I prayed to Hashem. Va'omar lamelech, im ala melech tov, ve'im yitav avdecha lefanav, if I'm good in front of you, asher tishlacheni el Yehuda, sell me to Yehuda. El ir kivrot avotai, to the city where my ancestors are buried. Ve'evnena, let me build it up. Vayomer li hamelech, the king told me, ve'hashegal yoshevet etzlo, and his consort was sitting next to him. Ad matai yehyeh mahalachecha. How long you planning on going for? Umatai tashuv, and when you're coming back? Vayitav lifnei hamelech vayishlacheni. The king found it was good for him. He sent me. Ve'tena lo zman, I gave him a time.
So both of them in the.
So now, clearly, what Hanani told him, he told the king, right? What's the point of telling me that after he told the king and the king already sent him, Hanani came and told him the next year? It's silly.
But how can you be both of them in the 20th year and his son?
So therefore Tishri is the day.
That must be.
Because he's a good, right? So back in the Gemara.
So this whole thing was brought.
Ayash trying to learn already.
He's excited.
That it was in the
Oh,
same.
Mabruk Ayash.
Salto. Sauda.
Wow. Ayash Tabag is born.
Sauda.
He lost the sale already.
Metiv, Amen. Metiv Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef asked the question. Biyom Esrim ve'arba. Biyom Esrim ve'arba lachodesh, on the 24th of the month. Bashishi, on the 6th day. Bishnat Shetayim leDaryavish, in the second year of Daryavish. So that's what? The 6th month.
The 24th of the month on the 6th day? What is that?
No, Bashishi in the 6th month, which is, what's the 6th month? Elul. Right?
Wow.
Chodesh HaShevi'i is Tishri, right? So 6 is Elul. Rashi, right?
We're talking about Goy King.
Goy King.
So Tishri.
No, you don't count the months from Tishri. The months are the first month, the second month is all names. It's always from Nisan. It's just one year. V'chtiv, and it says Bashevi'i in the 7th month, right? Be'esrim ve'echad lachodesh, on the 24th of the month. Now it doesn't say in that pasuk in the second year, so it's really not a question. But in the pasuk before it says the second year, so they're relying that it's the second year from the pasuk before. Ve'em ita, but if you're telling me that the years change in Tishri, b'shvi'i b'shnat gimel mevil, it should have switched in Tishri to the 3rd year
And we can't assume I would
Rashi.
have known that myself. I have to count it myself.
It says the second year in the pasuk before. Rashi, b'shishi b'shnat shtayim, shnehem b'nevuat Chagai, nivdak b'mikra. We check the pasuk. V'lo nimtza katuv b'pasuk sheni b'shnat shtayim. It doesn't say in the second year. That's why it's in parentheses. Ach yesh lomar shel pasuk shel mala hemenukai. It's going on the pasuk before shekatuv bo b'shnat shtayim. So the Gemara says, so you see that they're not counting from Tishri. Amar Rabbi Abhu, Koresh melech kasher haya. Koresh was a good king, right? Lefikach manulo kemalchei Yisrael. They counted for him like a Jewish king.
He was Jewish or
Not Jewish.
The other Koresh.
Kilomar al shem shaya kasher. Look at Rashi. Al shem shaya kasher.
He's the one who built.
Kira'u Koresh. Well, the first Koresh gave permission to build the Beit HaMikdash.
Wasn't it Darius?
That's Jewish.
No, Achashverosh took it.
Wasn't
Right.
it Darius that did it?
Vishmo me'id alav. Lefikach manulo kemalchei Yisrael. We'll see. We're going to see. Don't get confused. Says the Gemara. Okay, they count him a Jewish king. Okay, now they're counting him like a Jewish king. Matkif la Rav Yosef chada de'im ken kashu kere'adadu. I have a problem with that. Dichtiv v'shetziya betadina. This house was finished. Ad yom tlata, by the third day, liyerach Adar, of the month of Adar, dihi shnat shit lemalchut Daryavish, in the 6th year of Daryavish Malka. V'tanya, and we learned, ve'otaz man, at the same time, l'shana haba'ah, the next year, right? Allah Ezra mi Bavel, Ezra came up, ve'galuto imo, v'chtiv, and it says, v'yavo Yerushalayim, b'chodesh ha'hamishi, he shana hashivi'it, in the 7th year. So he left.
He came the next month.
He left. No. He left. He left the next year. Right? The Beit HaMikdash was finished in Adar of year 6. Right? Adar of year 6.
Right.
Right? It says the next year Israel left at the same time. So he left Adar year 7. He got to Israel, right? B'chodesh ha'hamishi in Av, Shana Shiv'it, in the 7th year. If he left in Adar year 7, and he got there in Av of year 7,
4 months,
right?
5 months.
5 months, no problem. He left with a lot of people. They went by foot. It took 5 months. That's not the issue. The issue is that you went through Nisan. So it should be year 8.
Same year.
If you're telling me he's a kosher king, right? It should be year 8. Right? Ve'emita shana sheminit mevelet, should be the 8th year. Right? Rashi. Be'oto zman l'shana ba'al korchach shvi'iti, it must be the 7th year. No matter whatever way you do it, the next year is the next year. V'chtiv be'ezra v'yavo yishem b'chodesh ha'chamishi shnat hashvi l'melech v'imanu lemenisan shviniti. Now, ve'emita ve'od, and besides for that, midami hatam koresh ha Daryavish. So how are you asking? We're talking about Daryavish, and you tell me Koresh was a good king? We're not talking about Koresh. We're talking about Daryavish. Says the Gemara.
We are counting.
Tanya, who Koresh, who Daryavish, who Artaxshasta. They're all the same guy.
It's like Mordechai, right? Also Mordechai.
Yeah, everybody's the same. Rashi, who Koresh, meaning
We can get the Gemara.
Af Daryavish she'achar Ahashverosh. Also the Daryavish that's after Ahashverosh Nikra Koresh. Oh, he had a name. He had a name Daryavish, but we also called him Koresh because he was a good guy. Right? Koresh shemelech kasher haya. He was kosher. Artaxshasta al shem malchuto. That was the title. Artaxshasta is like Paro. Right? Uma shemo Daryavish. His personal name is Daryavish. Mikol makom kasha. Now we have the problem again. So now how come over here from Adar to Av, it didn't become the 8th year if he's a good guy? Says Gemara, Am Rabbi Yitzchak lo kasha. Kan kodem shechmitz, kan lahar shechmitz. He went bad. In the beginning, they thought he was Mashiach. Right? They thought he was great. Let us build the Beit HaMikdash. He's doing great. They treated him like a Jewish king. Afterwards, he started acting terrible. They treat him like a
So what
goy.
are you trying?
Who?
Wasn't he Esther's son?
Esther's son, no?
So maybe that's why they started
How
keep
could
treating.
he change
Right,
that?
now you can, now if I have a star, I have 2 dates on the king's
They
date.
call him the
That's a
same
problem.
name. So it's the same guy.
No, it's a good
So I
question.
go- So, question, not a question. All right, speed, see that?
That's a good
Let me
question.
move.
Same guy. I don't understand how could they say now sudden he's Jewish.
He went
So
bad.
the first,
He's Jewish. Not in the country.
I asked you yesterday about Yerubim.
Yerubim, Eretz Israel. What are you talking about?
I asked you yesterday about 2 Jewish kings and you told me it's still go the same.
It's all, it's not a city, the country is
he
different.
he was a Jewish king of a non-Jewish country. What do you consider him? He's a Jewish king in a non-Jewish country whose father's a goy, and he's acting like a goy. So what should we do?
Yeah, 7 non-Jewish kings.
Go back to
I don't know.
the
You know,
what that means.
I don't know. I don't know if you remember, but this was Benny's question when we first started learning. Like, I don't know when we started learning when your grandfather passed away. Benny asked this question. This question on this Gemara.
7 non-Jewish
That
kings.
was-
I don't know what that means. I don't understand
Let's say you have a half Jewish guy. Yeah, his mother's Jewish, his father's a goy,
He's Jewish.
right? And he's Jewish, right? But he's
behaving like
He's-
Off the derech.
he's in the church, and so we have to call him a Jewish king.
No.
We don't
Okay.
have to.
You like his father's son.
But is he Jewish? You're not calling him.
Again, but
I get
a
it.
Jewish king means he's the king of the Jewish country, acting like a Jew or not acting like a Jew, but a Jewish king of a Jewish country. This guy, he's the king of Persia. He's acting like his father.
So
Send
he's
him-
better. So he's better than a Rasha king in Israel.
Yes, he's worse.
I'm saying he's worse than a
Of
Rasha
course.
king.
He went. He's half Jewish. He's not the king of Israel. He's the king of another
I don't
country.
know why we can't do it from the beginning.
Okay. Okay, we'll continue tomorrow.
He's first.
Yes.
First. Who cares? We're a different country.
It's his mother's not Jewish.
It's a different country.
Is he Jewish or not?
Yes.
Well, it's a difficult page, Rabbi. God bless you.
Amen. Thank you.
Praying as a Jewish.
Amen.
I don't know if he's really Jewish. No, it's there. It's there.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. I'll give you a whole history of all the kings.
He became a king of that, but we're not going to come till Nisan.
Amen. Over there, they agreed to make him king, but they didn't make him.
What's Minuto?
Minuto, they appointed him, but he didn't take the power.
What's a Hiddush? It's Tipshita.
No, they announced him king. At least we could count that as the first year. It was very official. It's like, they elect the president in November, and they doesn't become king until January.
Really, this year they elected in.
Whatever.
Okay.
4 years
Have a
ago.
good day, Mr. Hanono. Feel good. Welcome back. We hope to see you back soon.